Hello. Let me tell you a story. A long time ago, there was a chap who bought a video camera, had all these grand plans for it. He was going to take it around, he was going to make short films, he was going to make documentaries. He never quite sort of had the courage to really sort of make the big step and be bold with his decisions. So until one day he started watching YouTube videos, and he saw these people making pickups videos. He was into video games as well. He thought, that's what can get me into the groove of making proper videos. So I can take my video camera out and really get into the groove, have some courage of my convictions. So one day it snowed, and he thought, this is the perfect environment for me to make my videos. My first videos were brilliant. So you think, I don't want to damage the camera because he spent quite a lot of money on it. So I thought, I know, I'll waterproof it. So he got a bin bag, wrapped his camera in it, cut a little slit for the mic and for the lens, and then he went out into the virgin snow late one night. He wanted to capture the snow before it had the human imprint on it. He wanted to be the pioneer. He wanted to be the first, so to speak. So he took it out and he caught some quite nice footage. This is on the golf course. This is, I would guess, the 16th hole. That's London there. With a T. There you go, walking up there. But then he'd forgotten one of the key rules of having this video camera, is that it doesn't really deal very well with condensation. Changes in temperature. So, which actually, oh shit, this is just making me think. So, going from the freezing cold of the snow to bringing his video camera indoors when he'd finished. Let's just say the camera screwed up. that person was me, if you haven't already guessed. That person was me. And I tested that camera a few times after that, in a few weeks after that, and it didn't work. It always decided not to work. Until recently I thought, I'm going to give it another go, and I put my tape in, and lo and behold, the tape worked. It takes tapes, because it's an old video camera. I got it in 2002. It's a Sony VX2000, if anybody's interested, you can Google it, I don't know. But anyway, it takes tapes, and that condensation, the tape deck doesn't deal well with condensation, so so now I just tried it out with one of the tapes. I've got 4 tapes, and I tried it out with one of them, and it works. But lo and behold, in those intervening years, I've lost my one and only battery pack. I got it with the camera, so I didn't buy it separately, it came with the camera. So I've not got a battery pack, so I'm having to hook this up via an extension cable. So I can go wherever I like, as long as it's within an extension cable's length of a PowerPoint. And I'm thinking of buying another battery pack, but the official Sony ones are about 200 quid. Fucking hell. I thought, it's a nice day. I've probably made exactly the same mistake, just the opposite end of the spectrum. It's hot, so the condensation is going to be a different sort of condensation. What a twat. But anyway, so that was me. That was my story. And so I don't have a battery pack for my camera, but I can literally take it wherever I like, as long as it's within a distance of a PowerPoint. And I've also discovered that I did sort of know, I remember now, that it chews tapes up when you try and rewind. it's got a really vigorous rewinding sort of mechanism which chews tapes up. So I've had to order a whole load more tapes. So there you go. But I'm not going to let that defeat me. I'm going to be careful. I'm going to have to rewind things manually by playing and then rewinding at the half speed or whatever it is, if you know what I mean. Which will be a chore, but I'm determined to make it work. But and I'm sitting in the sun, as you can see. Got an interloper. Come say hello. I'm sitting in the sun. I thought, if I sit in the sun, I'll have to, because my natural instincts when I make videos is to talk a lot. And so I thought, if I sit in the sun, I'm running the risk of getting really bad sunburn. So I thought maybe that would spur me on to not to be so bullshitty. But so here we are. This is a new era for me. New era. The whole video, it changes the whole video making process, because normally I'd upload directly onto the hard drive, so now I've got to transfer it from the tape onto the... But anyway, and I have no notion of how long this video is, because I don't have a counter now. I just have a little viewfinder attached to the camera. So anyway, you gonna help, you bastard? So yeah, this is pickups video. I thought, why not? I've got some. It's been probably about a month now. I can't remember how long, but. And I thought, this is, maybe mix it up a bit, because like I said, I've mentioned this sort of countless times in recent pickups videos. I'm sort of struggling with the mojo for the whole thing, struggling for motivation. I thought this is the perfect opportunity with the lovely weather and the sort of the change in circumstances with my camera. I thought this is brilliant. And here's me talking about I wasn't going to bullshit. That's exactly what I'm doing. So, and also I'm a bit embarrassed to really talk too much because I'm overlooked here. I won't show you where I'm sitting, but I've got neighbours to the left of me, neighbours to the right of me. So anyway, I'm going to start off. I've got some, not a lot here. I've got about 8 games and 3 DVDs. Only 3 DVDs are all from charity shops. He's going to scratch me if I'm not careful. 3 DVDs are all from charity shops. This is a whole new element. Maybe that's what I needed, sort of like a spanner in the works to get me out of my comfort zone. I'm looking at myself in the viewfinder. I really need to concentrate hard looking in the... Fuck off. Concentrate hard looking in the camera. But 3 DVDs, charity shops. First one, this is the complete the set. So The Wire, the series of The Wire is brilliant. I won't talk about this too long because like I said, I'm trying to be brief. My favourite series of The Wire. This is fantastic. Tragic. This is the most tragic one of the 5, but it's excellent. It's so good. Actually, I'll do this one first. It's series 7 of Peep Show. Sealed, nice and sealed. Yeah, it's Peep Show. I don't really need to say too much about Peep Show. And this was £2 in a charity shop. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 7. I need 5, 6, and 8. But I've not ever seen an episode of Peep Show I don't like. But if anyone's not seen it, just go and watch it. It's brilliant. It's sort of concept sitcom. Finally, this is probably the most interesting. You're not coming to talk? No. This is probably the most interesting of the 3. It's Once Upon a Time in the Midlands, but it's a Shane Meadows film. It's not my favourite Shane Meadows film, but I got this one in particular. It's got to be this version because of the 2 hours. Is it? Yeah, it's 2 hours of extras. Primarily Shane's World. There. Shane's World, the DVD extras. Shane's World is a series of short films, also including like little comedy sketches and stuff. Most of them you can get on watch on YouTube actually, but the best ones, my favourite ones, you can't. They're called Tank's Top Tips, and it's Shane Meadows himself playing this character called Tank, who's a farmer like a proper like pikey. I should sort of say that way. That can be, deemed as offensive, I suppose. But he's a farmer, and he wears like a boiler suit with like the arms ripped off, and he's got his dodgy wig, and it's really funny. He's got brilliant timing actually, Shane Meadows. And this character Tank, he's in these little like 5-minute like top tip things. He rates himself as a film director, and he has all these Tank's top tips about making independent cinema, and it's all on air. You can't see it on YouTube, those particular ones, but all the rest you can. But if you wanted to see Shane's world, I mean, you can Google it, you get information about it, but it's nowhere online, not that I've seen anyway. But you can find out about it, and it's just Google like Shane Meadows, Shane's World. But I think Shane Meadows, along with Ben Wheatley, who made the recent, if anyone's seen it, it's brilliant, recent Field in England by really trippy, excellent stuff. But Ben Wheatley and Shane Meadows are the best two UK filmmakers going around at the moment, I think. They're really like individual voices, so and like it's really like healthy. It's a healthy sign of the UK sort of filmmaking. But I mean, you just have to look at This Is England, especially the TV version of This Is England, to see how good Shane Meadows is. But anyway, that's everything. That's all the DVDs and stuff. I've only got 8 games here. I'm going to move on to the games because that's what most of you are here to see. I don't know. I shouldn't make assumptions why you're all here. It's weird out here because there's all these distractions, and I have difficulty concentrating anyway. When I'm holed up in my little room, I find it easier to concentrate. But now, man, there's just like them, and little birds tweeting, and like aeroplanes and cats and stuff. So, but anyway, I've no idea how this is going to turn out because the viewfinder on the camera is not accurate. But anyway. 8 games, all from different systems. I'm going to start with this one. This is my one and only car boot sale purchase from, I've got fucking ants on my arse. It's the thing about this lawn here. The thing about our lawn is that ants love it. It's something to do with the drainage. Ants love it, and there's all these little humps everywhere, which are old ants nests. So if I sit too long, I'm going to get ants on my arse. But my one and only car boot purchase, I've given up going. I didn't go yesterday, didn't go today. It's Super Mario Land. This was from last week. It's cost £1. I got up at 6, left at 6:30, got there just before 7. It's supposed to start at 8, so I was there with all the early birds. I don't like the atmosphere at that time of day. It's a bit dodgy, it's a bit desperate. I think Mr. Neckbreaker said that. I don't like the atmosphere. It's a bit creepy the way people create an arc around someone's boot before they've even sort of put the brake on their car and turned the engine off. I don't like that at all. It does really put me off. But my car boot sale is not brilliant anyway, and so it's not always worth the effort of getting up. So, but I mean, last time it was okay. This time I got this. I mean, this doesn't look like a lot, but personally to me, it's one of my favourite ever games. Of all the games I've ever played, this is probably the one I've completed the most. I'd say Tetris is probably the one I've played the most, but this is the one I've completed the most. I'm talking about hours when I talk about Tetris, but this is probably the one I've completed the most. It's a bit knackered, it's a bit chewed around that corner, but that was £1. And it's sort of made the trip worth it, because this was quite a game that's, dear to me, so to speak. But it's not in the best nick, but I've already played it. I've already nearly completed it on my sort of second or third go. But so that was made sort of worthwhile trip to the car boot sale. And this was a cash generator. Really chuffed. This is Advance Wars. This is £1.99. £1.99. So you see the encroaching shadow now. The shadow's literally just there, so I've got to be quick, because otherwise I'm gonna, £1.99. £1.99. Shut up. Can't even hear what they're singing. What are they singing? Anyway, I'm getting distracted. I told you, didn't I? Advance Wars. So this was. I don't have a. Oh, I do have a GBA. Of course, I've got a GBA. Yeah. But I played this on my DS and got a bit confused because I entered the game with somebody else's game save and got lost. But anyway, this was right top of my list as far as GBA games. I don't have a massive list of GBA games. I just generally wing it. But so yeah, that was $1.99. This was CX Crimson Tears. Metal Jesus Rocks mentioned this in his PS2 Hidden Gems. I wouldn't go so far as to say it was a hidden gem. Did you see that? I wouldn't go so far as to say it was a hidden gem. I mean, in the past, me and... not that I know him at all. Me and Metal Jesus Rocks' game... We sort of coincide quite often, I've noticed. Like, he mentioned... in a lot of his Hidden Gems videos, he's mentioned a lot of games I've already got, or I've got high on my list. And so generally we coincide, and I've seen of this. It looks pretty sort of standard. I don't know. I mean, it's got certain decent ideas. It looks okay. It sort of looks vaguely cell shaded from the back, but I don't know. It's a sort of a 3D roaming beat 'em up with randomly generated dungeons, and you play 3 cyborgs, and you have some sort of catastrophe in sort of future Tokyo called Crimson Tears. There's one interesting idea I read in the manual, that if one of your characters dies, you can take control of another character as sort of got next life, and you can go and rescue them within a certain time limit, which makes it sound a bit like sort of a roguelike in that sense. A bit like it sounds like Dark Souls, but I'm not 100% sure how good this is. But it's only £2, and I had put it on my list from Metal Jesus Rocks' Hidden Gems, primarily because I've seen that our tastes coincide quite often. But this is more of a punt than like I said, I'm not often up for punting, but this one's less of a punt. I've got Sean and Rob Tino 777, Sean Sidious, now Science Quinny, and Rob Tino 777. Is that right? Yeah, that's the right amount of sevens. Yeah. Who recommended this? This is Way Forward. By Way Forward, it's Thor. This is probably the one and only film tie-in that I've got. Not to be confused with the Wii version or any of the other current gen versions. It's only the DS version that's by Way Forward. Looks like Contra 4, which I've got, and I love Contra 4. It's one of my most played DS games, Contra 4. But it's recommended by Sean Sidious, now Science Quinny, and Tino 777. So, and two people whose opinions I respect. And it does look good. It looks like a really good sort of old school sort of side-scrolling fighter. So that was $2.99 from HMV. I went to visit my old nan, and a game in her HMV is still going, which is another excuse to go and visit my old nan. On the same day that I went to visit my old nan, I went into game. Like I said, I went into their game because it's still open. And which one should I have first? This one's slightly more interesting. I don't know, actually. They're both interesting. It's a Metal Slug Anthology. I've got the PS2 version. I've started to burn already. Shit. I've got the PS2 version, which I love, obviously. But if anything, I think the style of game that Metal Slug is, it sort of lends itself to, to short bursts. It's sort of an arcade game, so it sort of lends itself to the sort of the handheld gaming, doesn't it? So if anything, this sort of suits the format better. Not that I've got a PSP. I've been building up my credit. I've now got £69 credit, which I can essentially afford in credit every single version of PSP they've got. I think I can't afford a boxed Silver 3000 for some reason. For some reason, that's £20 more than the unboxed one, which I don't understand. Why is that? But that was £4. And I got with it. This is Skycrawlers. What is it? Innocent Aces, I think. Skycrawlers Innocent Aces, which I don't know why this was on my list, but it did capture my imagination. I know the reviews are good, and I don't. It's more probably the association with an anime. It's an anime spin-off. I often get drawn to anime spin-offs, and it looked interesting from videos I'd seen in the past, and it's taken me ages to. I'd never seen them in sort of anywhere. There aren't many on CX's stock lists, and I read reviews, and the reviews are good. But as long as you just don't even bother with the default motion controls, just use a classic controller or a GameCube controller, and it looks pretty good actually. It's sort of like a pseudo, sort of, fuck off, fucking wasp or fly, what is that? This is the hazard of making videos outside. But that was £4 as well. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's just like, I don't really have any flight sims, sort of combat flight sims. They're not really the games I'm sort of really big into, but it's nice to mix it up a bit. And this was on my list, and it's been on my list for a couple of years now. But they were both £4 each. Both games that you don't often see, and I had £2.50 credit, so I got these for £5.50, so it works out as £2.75 each, which, you know, is actually pretty decent for these. I don't think either of them are particularly expensive, which surprises me for this. I think generally Metal Slug would be expensive, but it's not. And finally, for random sort of out and about purchases, not so much random, but I don't generally make random purchases, but this one's been high up on my list because it's like a sort of current gen version of one of my favourite ever games. It's beautiful Katamari. Like I said, I mean, the reviews I've read pretty much say that it's just sort of not fucking spider on it. Fuck off. You don't get this like sitting at home indoors. Fucking spiders. But anyway, the reviews I read say it's essentially not much different from We Love Katamari. It's just I don't think you really get the full sort of next gen graphics with it. But I love We Love Katamari so much that I don't really mind. It's obviously going to look slightly better, and I bet it does look quite a chunk better. But I love this game. It's just so wacky and off the wall that it's difficult not to love. And I love the music and everything. You know, get carried away with it. But that was £8. I just paid that because I had been looking out for it on eBay. But and that's essentially how much it goes for. Maybe sort of slightly less, but add in postage. That's about the money, really, I think. And that's about the money in CEX. So, and it had been sitting in my local branchy game for weeks, and I'd keep seeing it, and I was tempted by it, but I wanted to get a cheaper one. But in the end, I just sort of like, you know, took advantage. Finally, this is my one and only eBay purchase. I think it's my last pickups video. I spoke about, I think it was Parappa the Rapper. I tried to pay for it, or one of them. Was it Parappa the Rapper? I've forgotten. One of the games I bought for on eBay. I tried to pay for it, but the seller had mislabelled the email address connected to their PayPal account. So my money was coming out of my bank account and getting stuck in my PayPal account and not going on to them. And naively, I thought that it was going to. Once that had happened, once I'd sort of stopped the payment, because I tried it twice because it wasn't going any further. I stopped the payment and I naively thought it'd go back into my bank account, but it doesn't. It's got stuck in my account. So I had about sort of £13. It's just sitting in my bank account, which I didn't know that I had. So I'd already checked my bank account since and reconciled myself with how much I had in my bank account. So essentially, when I found the PayPal money, it was money I'd already spent. I'd already sort of spent it in my head, so it was okay, and I could go and spend it on whatever I liked on eBay. And this one's a game that fuck off ants, fucking ants. I told you ants, they're everywhere. I'm gonna get bit on my arse. I'll get sunburn as well. Shit. I'm gonna have to be quick. I've been sitting here too long. Yeah, this one has been on my list. Quite often you get the classics version, or it's like the best of version, but I didn't want the best of version because I never, it's Street Fighter Alpha 3, and this is actually pretty nice neck as it goes. The seller said it was perfect. It's not as perfect, but it's got a slight bit of water damage on the front cover, and the disc's a little bit scratched. It's only about a sort of a 7, but it's not as fuck off. It's not as perfect as they said it was. But no, this is one I was pleased to have because if anything, I prefer sort of the accessibility of the alpha games. I find it easy to pull off the moves because generally I'm pretty shit at fighters. But the weird thing about this was I tried to pay for it, and again my payment got held up in by PayPal for some reason. I wonder if anybody can help me with this, because this is a bit weird. I paid, and the guy sent me it. It turned up, so obviously my payment, he got notification that I'd paid. It wasn't like the other one where the payment hadn't gone through, but it got the little sand timer on the little the transaction notification on eBay, and so he'd obviously got notification that I'd paid. So he sent me my game, but then I'd got the game and it wasn't quite as perfect as he'd made out. So I was just sort of having an hour in before I tested the game, what I was going to do about feedback. I was going to give him good feedback. I just wanted to, you know, sort of just make him stew a bit, because I'm childish like that. But anyway, sorry. So eventually, a couple of days later, after I got the game, the seller sent me a message saying, "Can you please leave me feedback, because PayPal won't release my payment, won't release your payment until you leave me feedback." And I've never heard that before. So I wonder if it's a new thing, if anybody's ever heard of it, because I haven't. I hope it's not like a new ploy that PayPal or eBay are holding on to payments just to oil the cogs of feedback, get people to leave feedback, because obviously we should be able to reserve the right not to leave feedback. But if people's you know, don't, if they continue not to leave feedback, then no one's going to get paid, are they? It's a bit dodgy, you know. And some people on eBay just don't reply to messages, do they? I mean, we all know what eBay's like, but some people just don't bother leaving feedback. They're just like that, which is a bit strange. I hope that's not a new thing, and I hope it's more maybe something to do with the seller. Maybe the seller's got a strike against their account or something. I don't know. If anybody can tell me anything more, you let me know. I don't know, because I hope it's not like a worrying future developments. Anyway, fucking hell, that's it. Hopefully my videos, I'll be able to mix them up from now on. Do some more one outside. I won't do another one here. Where'd my cat go? Anyone see him go? It's fucking sweaty arse now. I don't want to get up. If I get up and walk that way, you'll see my sweaty arse. Anyway, I've no idea how long this video is. It's probably really long, so I'm going to let you go and check how long it is. So, and dust the ants off my arse. So, thanks for watching. Like I said, I'm going to try and mix it up and do some more of these, more different locations. Yeah, I hope get my mojo back. Yeah. Cheers, peeps. Adios.